If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're returning, thank you very much for being with us. We were gone from Idaho for 3 years, and now that we're back, it's been fun to reestablish friendships and wander around some of our old stomping grounds. I thought I'd go over some of the good, the bad, and the ugly of the area we live in case you're thinking of relocating here or maybe just taking a road trip. We are not opposed to the timber industry. Rob worked in it for over 30 years. I just finished a book called The Judds in Fraser, Idaho. The Judds first homesteaded in the Fraser area in 1894, and Claude Judd, a descendant, pretty well summed up how we feel about the logging in Idaho. I quote from page 94 of Claude's book. The practice of selective logging should be used so as not to destroy, but to tree farm those lands, unquote. Yes, we're aware that we would probably have to pay more for our toilet paper and our lumber, but we would be willing to do that in order not to have clear cuts. Clear cutting is used by timber companies because it's more expedient and better for their bottom line. When we came back to Idaho and were looking for land, we had two priorities: not to live too close to a road and not to live too close to a clear cut. With our limited funds, we were able to buy 40 acres. We know that the clear cuts are coming our direction from the north, the west, and the south, and we've done the best we can to make it so that once it happens, we won't have to look at clear cuts out the windows of our house. Currently, Idaho is the fastest growing state in the nation. If you move here, you can plan on having difficulty finding a contractor or general laborers to help you if you need to build. The same goes for if you need a well dug or a septic system put in. I'm not sure about the road because Rob did most of ours all by himself. When you get to the top of Greer Grade, you will come to Fraser. It's not a town, but it is a place. And then you will come to Weippe. On your left, Cindy has a drive-through espresso shop. She has wonderful little nooks and crannies that you should explore, and she and her husband Bill know the area well and can give you lots of information. Next, on your right, you'll come to the Weippe Library and Discovery Center. I'm going to do a separate video on it and Deo Reservoir, so you'll want to be sure and subscribe so you don't miss that. As you turn and head north, there's an interesting place where especially you hunters will want to stop. Watch for the sign for Artistry Out West Taxidermy. They've been to Africa about a bazillion times, and there's always something interesting going on in the shop. And Van will have some interesting tales to tell you. After taking Decker for a ride one morning, Van and Diane stopped by. Decker hadn't ever met the goats or Ivy, so he didn't quite know what to think about everything and everybody. Don't give him any sass, huh, Tailgate? Yeah, don't give Tailgate any.
So if this guy's going to be around here much, I got to get him lined out.
Mom,
don't whine at me.
He wasn't nice to me. He was... As for employment in the area, if you're a logging truck driver, you can probably get a job. There is intermittent health services in Pierce, but most of the time you have to go to Orofino for the dentist and the doctor. All areas up here on the hill in the wintertime will need some type of snow removal. It's not as bad in Weippe and Fraser as it is in Pierce. If you live in the Pines, that's part of the snow belt, and it really stacks up there. If you plan on working from home and need a good internet access, you will need to be cautious of where you look. We happen to be very fortunate because we're close to a cell tower, and so we have a hotspot, and it works quite well for internet. However, when it comes to streaming, we tried that one evening with a half an hour show, and it took all evening to watch that program. So if that's important for you, you need to be careful where you decide to plant yourself. We are a low crime area, but of course there is some, and usually it's in the form of thievery. If you love the outdoors, there's plenty of things to do. Hiking, camping, huckleberry picking. In the fishing, there's rivers, creeks, lakes, Dworshak Reservoir. There's biking, ATVs, motorcycles. Floating down the Clearwater River is a popular thing to do in the summer. Kayaking, hunting, although it's not as good as it used to be with the advent of the introduction of the timber wolf, but the turkeys seem to be doing well and thriving. If you have any questions, Rob and I would be happy to see if we could answer them for you, so just ask them in the comments down below. If you have any drone flying tips, it would be great if you would put something in the comment down below to help us. We seem to be doing okay with forward and backward, but we're still really jerky on that sideways motion and we're not sure how to fix it. Thank you.